Hey, everybody. Welcome back to the Save the Good Girl podcast. I am your host, Erica E. And if you don't know me, it's okay. You have entered your luxury listening experience. Welcome to the SOE edition. SOE stands for Shot of Erica. For those who know, you know. Shot of Erica is just like your shot of tequila, green juice, or espresso. It gets you exactly where you need to be in a short period of time. I do the exact same thing, but for your mind. And right now, I am drinking some really great coconut water. Did you know coconut water is really good for like headaches? I know it's good for dehydration and all of that, but it's really great for headaches. My sister actually recommended it to me, and I was like, girl, this is working. I don't have to take like pills all the time. It works. Just a sidebar. So there's so many changes going on. So many changes. And speaking of change, in this episode, we are going to talk about being automatically updated and not knowing. Being automatically updated and not knowing. In the last SOE, in last week's SOE, I was talking about how participation is needed. If you haven't listened to that episode, take a listen. But basically, in order for us to get what we really want, we have to participate in action, right? I'm not saying anything new. This is not something different. It's just the truth. And I'm at that place in my life from coming from experiencing something really harsh, which I know that we all have experienced. Now it's time to put into some action. We've gone through the feelings. We are taking our time. We're healing. We were angry, we're upset, going through the motions. And now it's like, all right, in order for me to get what I really want, I have to get into some action. And that's genuinely where I am right now, where it's like, I need to get into some action. I've mentioned lightly last week talking about automatically being updated. And I really wanted to really just hone in on what I mean by that. So we have our cell phones, and as you guys know, our cell phones, if you have an iPhone, an Android, whatever phone you have, the system of the phone has to be updated, because now iPhone or Samsung or whoever, they have created new updates so that it can be even easier for you to use your phone, or more fun, or different functions that you have, new features that makes it easier, or clear pictures, or whatever the case is. So there's a feature for the iPhone, and it's like automatically update. So basically, as soon as you plug your charger in, your phone will be automatically updated to the latest version. So now your phone won't be moving as slow. You'll be up to hip with all the new features. You know everything. And we need to do that, because if we don't do that, the phone will not operate the same. There's certain features that iPhone probably have realized that wasn't the best. So now they're trying to update it and make it a little bit more better. They're trying to upgrade those features because people have complained, and they're like, all right, we gotta change this up, because we need to make this easier and more fun for people to be on their phones, because we use our phones for everything. So we need our phones to be updated to the latest version. We need our phones to have the new features. We need our phones to move in an easier way for us, to make it more aesthetically pleasing for us, a different way to text, a different way to send voice notes, a different way to communicate, making sure that we're good on social media. There's so many things we can do because we are on our phones so much. Now, with doing this update, the truth is, if you are on update number iOS 16, you will never find iOS 2 again. Why would you want that? iOS 2 has no features that will be beneficial for you today. As they continue to add things and develop and recognize what's working and what's not, this is when they push this out. But if you notice, every couple of months, there's a new update to the cell phones, as well as an app. There's always an update. There's always an upgrade option. I thought about this for us in our lives. The difference, though, is that in life, we get automatically updated, and sometimes we don't know about it. So being in a place where you have been a version of yourself for so long, you have allowed certain things for so long, you have had the same friends for so long, your career path, all these things have been pretty stable. And out of nowhere, things start to shift. And you are wondering, wow, I just got upgraded to these features. I don't know how to use them. Have you guys ever felt like that before? Like you have been recognizing that there are changes in your life that are happening. You know that. And it feels a little weird almost. But you're like, how do I use this? Like, what does this mean? Am I a bad person? And I'm saying that because I have been automatically updated. When you go through things in life, regardless of what it is, you are automatically updated every single time you go through an experience that you are learning from. You are automatically updated. You are not the same person you were yesterday. If something happened to you, today, and it really hit you and it was monumental to you, you are not the same person you were yesterday. So here's what happens with that, which is very good. But now there's the features. So now we have been updated and now we have to understand those features. So I'll give you an example. I have been updated to understand how I feel when it comes to inner peace. All right. I've been updated. I'm like, I gotta respect my inner peace. There's certain things that I need. I need to be in a good space for me to do certain things and get out there and, talk to people and be creative. Because I have been updated to inner peace, the features are boundaries. The features are spending quality time with people who want to spend quality time with me. The features are acknowledging that I don't want to be around certain spaces anymore. The features are that certain relationships that I have with people are shifting and they're changing because as I'm updating, so are they. And sometimes our updates they're not aligned, right? So I felt like I was constantly being updated. I was constantly being in this new place. And then I'm trying to figure out these updates and features. So it's making me feel uncomfortable because now I'm setting these boundaries and now I'm questioning, am I a bad person? Because I don't want to talk to this person? Am I, I was going through these moments where I'm like, why don't I want to talk to this person though? Like, why? And because I'm really into my inner peace, I understand myself, I understand where I'm at. I'm like, oh, this is why. I think before it was really like, I just don't, they're annoying me, And now it's like, there is a deeper reason why I do not want to talk to this person right now. And I feel like life does that to us. It just automatically updates us. And then when you are automatically updated, you have to now, when you talk to people, I don't know, I'm going somewhere. When you're automatically updated, right? And you talk to someone, you talk to a friend, the reason why it's so important to maintain your relationships with people is because they also have to learn the new features. You're not the same anymore. So the way they speak to you is not the same. The way they handle you is not the same. You wouldn't know that if you don't communicate with your people, right? So having conversations with your friends and your spouse and your family and whoever's around you on a, consistent basis enough for them to recognize that there's a change. So when we don't really speak like that, you don't know that I've been updated. So now you're talking to me, you're giving me advice, and I'm just like, yeah, this advice was for the Erica 10 years ago. This is not advice for Erica right now. But you don't know that because we don't talk like that. So when it comes to the updates, there's so many different avenues we can go with that, but life will automatically update you whether you want it or not. Whether you want it or not. You can be upset because here's another thing, right? So I know that when I have an iPhone, when iPhone has updates that are really, really big, they go viral, right? They're on the websites, people are talking about it, doing YouTube reviews about it, it's on social media. So sometimes I would watch YouTube videos because I want to know, what is it can I do with these updates? Because here we are with all these wonderful features that we have been given, but we don't get a chance to explore them because we're so upset that the phone has been updated and we don't know how to use it. Meanwhile, there's access to learn how to properly use this update for us to make it convenient for us. There's certain things that took us 15 minutes to do, and now with the update, we can do it in 1 minute. We can do it in 2 seconds. So I find that in addition to us getting updated and us having these features and us knowing, that there's a change, we have to learn how to properly utilize those features. So I feel that life is like that. I feel like we are constantly being updated, we are constantly changing, and the people around us are also changing as well. And how do we accommodate that? Like, how do you deal with that? Because the reality is it's not easy. Because now that I've gone through grief and I've gone through other things in my life, it makes me look at life in a different way. I value quality time so much. Because unless you have gone through something that detrimental in your life, and if you're not a person of like strong gratitude, it's very difficult. I value quality time. That's the most, I think for me, the biggest thing ever is when people show up. You know what I mean? And we don't have to do anything crazy or special or fancy, but just you showing up. Spending quality time with people is huge for me because I love to converse. I love to have, our conversations, and I love to learn. I love to hear what's happening with you. You hear what's happening with me. We exchange, and then we have a great time with each other. I value that. I've always valued quality time, but it's on a different level right now because my level of understanding that life is very tricky and fickle, and just, you don't know what's going to happen at any moment. All your responsibility is to see how you deal with the situations when they occur, because they will, and make sure that you have the right people around you who love and support you consistently all the time, right? Because going through something is difficult, but going through it alone is not ideal. So going through these updates, recognizing that I'm changing. I am changing. And when I discussed last week that participation is needed, we need to participate in our lives to get the things that we want. And I'm in the process of that right now because I told y'all last week, like, now I'm at the place where I'm like, all right, I can't stay like this forever. I want more out of my life. I really do though. But sometimes our minds and the bully will come and she'll be like, saying all these mean things to me. And I'm like, girl, get out my head. Nobody cares about you. You're whack and you're corny and you, like, nobody likes you. Like, I want to kick her all the time, But like, girl, get out my face. Get out of my face. But, going through these updates and recognizing, and you see people differently. You move differently. You think differently. You process differently. You know what is important and what is not. You know what to fight for and when to fall back. You know what I mean? You know when to fight, you know when to fall back. You start to realize that certain conversations, you just feel drained. So drained. You're not getting much from it because you know why? The updated version of you, maybe the old version would have been on the phone for 5 hours. The updated version of you is not doing that no more. It's like, sis, I gotta go. I literally have to go. I've told you guys before that recording this podcast and being creative and doing social media and writing blog posts requires a lot from me mentally. I will not and cannot talk to people who are going to drain me before I'm literally about to work. I can't do that. So the updated version of me is not doing that. Before, I will be on the phone talking to people for hours. Oh my God, girl. Why, girl? Oh my gosh. Now I'm like, sis, you know what? I hear you. I love you. I really do. I do have to go, but here's what I have to say. And then I end it. I gotta go, So as we constantly get updated, because we are, the biggest challenge is for us to catch up with the update and understand the features. You need to get to know you. You need to get to know you. Why don't you like this anymore? Why do you like that? Why do you care about this? Why don't you care about this anymore? So there's certain things that are happening, and I feel like as they're happening, we got to give ourselves just a moment to acknowledge that I am shifting and I am changing. And regardless of whether I want to or not, just because how life is, the update is mandatory and there's nothing you can do about it. It cannot be stopped. It cannot be paused. The Wi-Fi is already connected. The charger is connected. The charger is your why. Because just like when the phone dies, right? It's like you got to charge your phone to get it back up. That's your why. Your purpose is there. So now we have this new setting, this brand new feature. The phone looks different. And we got to take the time to understand us a little bit more. And we got to be okay with the shift. You cannot use your phone with iOS 2 anymore. There's no way you can do it. There's no way. I don't even know what they're up to now. What, 17, 16.8? I don't know. But it's like, you can't go back and say, okay, I want to download the version 2. It's not going to happen. It's not going to happen. So we need to be okay with that. And I've realized lately, I have been being updated automatically without any permission because God put it on like that. God put it on automatically update. Do you want to be notified when there's an update? Yes, but automatically update. So I'm going through life, I'm going through things, and I think we all are. I think anybody who has gone through a shift in their life, this is what tends to happen. Like, you start to realize all these things are moving along, and you're like, yo, who am I? Who am I? Who am I? Who am I? What are these features? Oh, I don't like these type of things in men anymore. I always knew I didn't like them, but these are the reasons why I don't like them. Oh, I need this from a relationship. I need this from love. I want a safe love, and this is how I feel about it. For my career, this is what I need. From myself, this is what I need. When you are able to understand your updates, you are able to articulate your order to people. You can say what you like and say what you need. You know how people eat certain things, like when they drink milk, this happens to my stomach. When I eat this food, it makes me like this. It's kind of like that. It's like you started to pay attention, and now you know what's going to nourish you and what's going to make you throw up. And I'm at the place where it's like, based on these updates, and as you know, as you get older, your body just starts to change. So based on these updates, your body physically, mentally, emotionally, spiritually will change. And we have to be in this place of understanding that it's a good thing. It took me a while to understand that, but it is a really good thing. And whether I want to or not, it's mandatory. It's going to happen. Events will happen. Experiences will happen. Love will happen. Heartbreak will happen. Sorrow will happen. Tears will happen, and joy will happen. But it's all for the better. Because if you think about it, if we're not being updated, how are we really progressing in life? We're not. And sometimes certain things have to happen for us to move in a particular way, to shift our mindset, to shift our physical, how we moving physically, how we dealing with people. All of that has to be challenged. All of that has to be challenged because sometimes there's lessons coming to us and we're just not getting it. So life is like, oop, update. So I challenge you to be okay with the update because we're going through it every day, whether you want to or not. But I challenge you to also get to learn the features of the update. Don't just let it update and you're like, whatever, it is what it is. Learn the features of this update. How can this update really benefit you? And why is the update happening? I want you to really challenge yourself. And the only way you can do that is by being present. Challenge yourself with that. Why is this update happening? It is happening for my good, but why? What are these features? Who am I now? I'm not the same person I was last year. I'm not the same person I was 10 years ago. All these things are happening and my mindset is shifting. The people around me are changing. The way I feel about work is changing. I have a passion. I feel different. I love different. I show up different. I engage different. And I deserve different. So I want you guys to really think about that when it comes to your life being automatically updated and just really processing that because it's going to happen whether we want it or not. And as always, y'all, I appreciate you guys listening to the Save the Good Girl podcast, the SOE edition. I want to hear what you have to say. Please go on SaveTheGoodGirl.com and subscribe and follow me on social media to stay connected. I am so excited for our updates. We're going to get there. We're going to do it. It's going to happen. And we're going to know every single feature because we lit like that. Period. I'll talk to you guys next week because this episode I got coming up, mad good. So stay tuned for that.